Hello everyone, today we're going to take a look at a Fistful of Penguins. This was a hot dice game at SN last year, and is now an iOS app. Let's see how the game translates onto iOS and see if it's still enjoyable even though we're not rolling dice. Let's take a look. A Fistful of Penguins is a game that can be played solo or with other players. The interaction between players is really minimal, so it's really just whether or not you want to compete or just go for a high score, since your rolls are not really affected by the other players. The game is played over 3 rounds. In the first round, you start by rolling 4 dice, and then you can add dice using penguins, or using penguins you can also re-roll dice. There are many faces of the die. There are camels, which score you points if there are no lions present. There are lions, which can be scored alone for 7 points each. There are kangaroos that are their number squared, and you can use those to also gain a kangaroo token, which means you can change a die to a kangaroo later on. There are also moose, which will score only when there is a squirrel present. As you can see in Fistful of Penguins, there are many options each die can take. Because of this, they decided to create this sort of menu system, along with constantly allowing you to see the scoring. It does make sort of a cluttered screen, but it does allow you to see all of your options at once and see what is actually active and what is not. It also lets you know your score on the fly, and will let you know what you will score based on what you choose to take, whether it be lions or the other dice that are available. There currently are no multiplayer options available for Fistful of Penguins. It's either an AI or a solitaire experience. There are, however, Game Center achievements and also leaderboards that allow you to compare your best scores against those of your friends. This is a nice addition to something that currently is more of a solo game. The game features a leaderboard for multiplayer games as well as a leaderboard for solitaire games. Apart from this, there's also achievements and local leaderboards that show your best games against the different AI opponents. These AI opponents come in varying difficulties, and you get ranked on how you do against them. There's also basic settings that allow you to control many elements of the game to make it go faster, etc. There are the credits, of course. Apart from this, you also have a built-in rulebook where you can read rule for rule what's available in the game. Apart from this, there's also a tutorial that will walk you through step by step. I followed this tutorial and I understood scoring and the game pretty clearly in just a few minutes. A Fistful of Penguins is a fun dice game. It's definitely meant for families, and the element of push your luck is definitely there. It's obviously more like multiplayer solitaire than anything, but it is definitely enjoyable. Now, as far as dice games, playing them on iOS, I've never been a huge fan of that, as I think rolling dice is a main element of fun in those types of games. However, this game is enjoyable, and it's a fun little single-player time waster. My biggest complaint with this app is that though there are no dice available, etc., they decided to limit the interaction further, where all you're doing basically is tapping elements and hitting buttons and watching them do things. This is a fine method and is definitely the most simple method, but it would have been nice to see a more advanced, more intuitive, and something that takes more advantage of the touch screen in order to implement this game. A Fistful of Penguins is not a staple to the genre and is not required for every person to purchase. However, if you are looking for a fun little time waster and want to experience this dice game from SN perhaps before you can actually purchase it, it is a great little app to have for only the low price of 99 cents. So check it out if it interests you.